Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Juliana Rabi, and this is my YouTube channel. I help professionals to land their dream job, their dream remote job in 90 days. So in this channel, I talk everything related to careers, such as remote jobs, LinkedIn, interview preparation, networking curriculum, anyway, anything related to career. In this video, I'm super happy to have Adela here, and she's going to introduce herself, and you will understand why I'm so excited about this interview. But I want to say that Adela is an expert in the power of networking and building meaningful relationships. She's also very actively involved in different organizations and communities all over the globe, and especially in Vienna, Austria, where she is physically located. So she's amazing, and stay with me in this video. You will understand why I'm saying that. She's going to add a lot of value. And don't forget to follow my YouTube channel. Every week, I share new videos and new content for you. So, Adela, thank you once again for being here in this video. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Juliana. Thank you. Greetings from Vienna to all of your viewers. It's a cold day. It's an afternoon here. It's a cold day. It's snowing. It's a real winter. And I hope that this video is going to warm us all up a little bit and give us that energy boost that we all need. So as Juliana said, my name is Adela Mejanic. So I'm in the tech industry, so women in tech, very much proud, very much vocal about it, visible. I'm as well a mentor in the Women in Tech network, as well other organization. I'm a speaker, and I just love to talk about networking, about mentoring. I love to connect people. And they call me networking queen. So I hope that I will justify the name today and give your viewers a couple of tips that helped me along the way. And people remember me as well as a person who packed her stuff, literally sat on the bus, came to Vienna and started from the scratch.
Wow.
And yes, and I have recently, thanks to that story and all this amazing experience that I have had in the last years, not just in Austria, but Europe, I started my YouTube channel called Making It in Austria, where I interview people who made a very similar experience here in Austria, came here without a job, or they came here to study and then they stayed because they love the city, or they love the community, or they found the love of their life. And yeah, Vienna is a beautiful place to live, and I just enjoy talking to people, and those stories inspire me. And it's also a way to build your network, because it makes really sense, and it all comes together.
Yeah. So networking is something very important to you, as you said. That's why you're the networking queen. So I was wondering, how did you discover the power of networking? Was there any specific situation or event, or was it more like a process for you? How was it?
I think it was both, but for me, coming to Austria and without the network and starting from scratch and having to find a job really quickly, I came with my husband, and we had kind of savings for 6 months. So we were really focused and very clear what we want to achieve, and we said we want to give this a try. If it doesn't work out, we have the experience. We met new people. We have seen the world, and we go back to our home country, Bosnia and Herzegovina, where we both come from. And I think that was the beginning of me discovering what does it mean when you have someone where you can talk to about, what is new in the industry, or who is hiring, or what are the, tips and tricks about recruitment or the salary negotiation. So I basically realized back then, what does it mean when you don't have it? And slowly I build it up from one contact to another.
You created
And
from scratch, from zero,
yes.
right?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So and what I did, I basically, I asked most of the people, so my friends, for instance, in Bosnia, if they know someone in Austria, in Vienna, that is studying at a technical university or studied here and works here, if they could introduce me to them, just like for a
Just like
coffee
that.
chat. Just like
as-
that.
Okay.
Like, let's have a coffee, or maybe they can give me something, some insights, and okay, how do you prepare for interview in Austria? Because it's very different. If in Austria, it's different in Bosnia, for instance. What does the CV needs to look like? For instance, here you have to have a picture, for instance, you have to write the date of the birth, you have to write if you're married or not. So there are a little bit, so small tips and tricks that really help. And I was curious about all of that. And I had a really, really short period of time to get all of that. And I landed at my first job within two months.
Wow.
Actually, I got 2 offers. But one thing was very clear for me. I didn't spend most of the time sending CVs. I spent most of the time going through these websites. Like, there are 3 main websites here in Austria where they publish the jobs.
Yeah.
And I was looking and saying, okay, where do I have the best chances? Because randomly, so really like matching my experience, that I had a couple of years of experience back then. I had my degree, master's degree in telecommunication. And I was like looking, okay, where does it make most probability? Where I have the biggest chances? Because I didn't want to spend days, sitting at home and sending hundreds of CVs without any logic, just, to
just to apply. Yeah.
Just to apply and say like, okay, today I sent hundreds of them. I really looked into those. And out of those, I don't know, maybe I sent 10 or 15. Out of those, all of them, I got at least a reply saying, okay, now we are not hiring, or we're not looking, and so on. But, keep in touch. We will save it in the database. And what helped me back then was going to a conference. I really went to a conference and I met the company that I got the job from. Now it's different, maybe all of this is online, but I got it going there and just showing myself, and saying, look, I came here, this is my CV, this is what I know, this is where I want to go. Maybe you have the job for me. And this was
completely different than just apply for a job and wait. Right? No. It was very targeted. So you're checking the companies who were hiring. So you went to the reality of the job market, but then you're selecting the ones you like, the ones you had more probability. That's also nice. So it's not the ones I like, but the ones my profile match, my skills, my requirements. So it's a very, very smart way to select companies. And then you're going one step ahead. How can I meet those companies in that time physically? But how can I talk to people who are working there and introducing myself? That's amazing. That's so different than a lot of people do when they are applying for jobs, right? People still, there is this expression, I don't know if you've heard about it, spray and pray. So pray your curriculum, and then you pray that it works. So this is old style. This is old fashioned. That's exactly why I want to talk to you, because I know you landed 3 of your dream jobs in a very fast way, without applying for the jobs, without using a curriculum in a traditional way. So how did you do that? You start saying, but I want to get more of that, because that's so interesting, so powerful. And I'm sure a lot of people can benefit from that. So how did you land 3 new jobs, 3 dream jobs, without applying, without sending a curriculum? How was it?
That was in the last couple, so that was 2019, so end of 2018, 2019, when I was finishing my MBA. So I had, I realized I want to make a change. So I want to move from the company where I was, because I believed I touched, came to the ceiling, and I really want to experience something new. I want to have a job here in Vienna. My job before that was working for a Swedish company, which was really good, international. I gathered so much experience, and through that, I had the opportunity to meet many, many companies and partners around Europe. And I could basically, through all that years that I was working, I was always, looking at least, 2 years ahead. This is part of me. This is my personality. It's
thinking about the future.
Yes. Always. So it's me, and it's not about just the job. It's everything about it, about the family, about, friendships, traveling. And
Yeah,
planning.
You plan.
Yes, I plan. And at that point, when I was finishing my MBA, I said, okay, now I'm finishing my MBA, and I give myself 6 months. So I said, okay, at the end of this 2018, beginning of 2019, in September, I want to move to the next position.
Wow.
Because that was when I was finishing the MBA in summer. Then I said I will have some summer break, summer holidays. And then in September, actually I started in October, I took a little bit more of vacation.
Okay, but 1 month difference. It was very aligned with. Let me just say one thing. I always tell that to my clients when we are doing the coaching sessions, the importance of putting dates, to set dates, to have clarity about that. Because when you say, I want to land a new job in a different company, in a different country in 6 months, all the things you do are related to that because you know exactly where you are going. So setting dates, realistic dates, obviously, as you said, it was September, you landed the job in October, but it is very close. It was almost there. So it is very.
I picked October, actually, Juliana. I
told that.
Yes, I said, okay, it's even better for me because I said, okay, when I get to a new job, I need to ramp up fast. And I said, I feel I need more vacation. I want to go and see my family back in Boston.
You could even choose to have longer vacation. How amazing is that? I love it.
As you said yourself, so I didn't came there. It was a process, and I looked for people who can help me along the way. So I back in those time, I had mentors. I had a mentor who I've worked with together for 6 months. It was called Journey to Me, Myself, and I, where we went deep, and then we worked in a way to understand where do I want to go. So out of all these opportunities that I have, which one is the one that I want to, and that would, that I would be happy in the next 2 or 3 years. Because it's not about, landing a job and then 3 months later,
if you are unhappy and you're searching for a new one. Yeah. And I love the fact that you were working by that time, right? You're still working.
Yeah, I was working.
You were working. You were investing, doing your MBA and doing the coaching with your mentor, the mentoring session. So you were investing a lot of time, money also, right?
Yes.
And energy, because you're planning your life and your career 2-3 years ahead. So there was a lot of preparation. When people say like it came out of nowhere, this job, oh, you're so lucky. No, it was not lucky. There was a lot of that. Sometimes people don't see that, right? What happens in the backstage? People don't see all this intentionality, all this preparation, all these choices that you made on the way. So that's a great way to. That's why it worked out, right?
It's. I like when they say, I made my luck. I had a long time difficulty to say I made my luck. Because as you said yourself, it's a lot of work, but it pays off.
Totally.
I like to put, focus in a couple of months and say, okay, I'm into this, I'm 100%. And then I see, the benefits, the return on investment in the years that are coming. And job, believe it or not, it's part of our life. We spend most of the time there, 8, 10, 12 hours, depending where you work. And it affects, I like when I come home. I love when I think about other things. And this is what happens when you're satisfied, when you're happy and fulfilled at your job, that you have so much energy to do, I don't know.
To take care of the other areas of your life, right? You set this pillar and then you have time and energy to do the other things that matter to you. I agree. It's not the most important area, but it's one that should be fine. You should be happy about it. Then you can also enjoy the other areas. Yeah, amazing. So you didn't send any curriculum during this networking process, all the things you have done. So it was 100% based on the networking.
It was 100% based on my network. And as I told you before in preparation of this interview, through my career, I kept, the list of the companies that I would love to work with.
I love that. You're writing down the names, literally.
Yes, and I have them, in my head. So remember, whenever you wake me up in the evening, I know this
it was very close to you. You really know. You really knew at that time the companies you want to work for. So what were you doing with those companies? Once you had the clarity, so it was not random connection. It was not any company, any job. No, it was like very focused. What were you doing with this information, with this list of companies you want to work for?
So I had the 3 of them. And so that's why from all of 3, I landed the job.
Dream job, yeah.
And basically it was just when I knew what I want, so where I want to go. So I'm nurturing this relationship all the time. I didn't just out of the blue send them an email and said like, look, we met 3 years ago at this conference in Vienna and you have no idea who I am. So I go with a lot of my intuition, and I have a really, really good feeling about people. And I met, for instance, all these owners of these companies back in during my job, and I kept in touch with them. And keeping in touch means like checking up on them every 3 to 6 months, like where are you, what is happening, what's new in your company, or remembering that project that they wanted to launch and they were excited about it. And I'm like, okay, how
it
is that?
It was a relationship,
yes,
right?
We have a relationship.
Yeah.
So it's not the business cards. We exchanged once business cards, and we never. Then they don't know who I am.
Yeah.
And basically, when I was clear about where I want to go, I just contacted all of them and said, look, I'm finishing my MBA. I would like to. Like September was back then, I would like to start. I'm looking for new opportunities. I would like to start in another field or where you guys are, because I knew what they're working.
Yeah.
I followed their work. They followed my work as well, which is super important. And it was just about us sitting together and realizing, okay, which position would you like to be working in, or what exactly, so what they have at the moment, what is coming for them in 3 to 6 months. And this is for me the power of networking. It's really realizing, okay, who are the people that you want to spend time with, that you want to invest into them, because it's investment. You need to build up this relationship, and if you have fun with it, and if you really genuinely love spending time with people, and going for a lunch with these people, and just being very open and learning from them, and exchanging, that will make your life way easier. And it's really about it's at the end of the day, it's business. Every company nowadays is looking for the best talents in the industry. So everybody is fighting for the best people. And if you throughout your career have built up a good reputation, I always say it's like so important to leave the doors open wherever you go. And you will always have people who will vouch for you, who will recommend you, because my world, for instance, is very small. So our IoT, Internet of Things industry is relatively small. Everyone knows everyone. Yes. And we just, go from one company to another. You see different business cards, and it's so important, to leave a good impression.
Doors open.
Exactly. Exactly. So that's how it went. So it went from lunch to preparing of course then there was the official presentation preparations and all of that follows the interview process. But
what started the process was the networking that you were cultivating, that you were taking care for 2-3 years. And another thing interesting is that when you could say clearly, look, I'm finishing my MBA, this is the kind of position I want, they already knew you. So it was not the first time they were hearing about it. It was just a matter of, okay, formalities. Which kind of job are you looking for? Let us see what we have here. It was just one more step in the process. It was not artificial. It didn't feel fake. It was just like, as we have been talking for like 3 years, and look how much time we invested on it, right? So as you know me already, I know you're ready. Now I'm ready to make this change in my career. So it was just like a natural conversation. We were creating through time. So a mistake that I see a lot of people, they think that network feels awkward, or is something that you want something from the other person because they're doing things wrong. If you cultivate a relationship, it's not artificial, because it's just like one more step of the conversation. If people want to keep talking to you, they like you already.
Absolutely. Right? And it's about, it's a business at the end of the day. It's nothing. I'm not asking something that's out of the blue. It doesn't make any sense. Exactly. It's about, I what they taught me is like, I'm never looking for a job. I'm exploring the opportunities. I'm just looking out there, and I just, say, okay, I know why I want, you need to have this, why do I want to work
Clarity.
in the company? Exactly.
Mhm.
Because the manager is great. I told you, like they have healthy values in the company. So the leadership the leadership team is very strong. They have a strong mission. So it's not about, I just want to work for you because, I don't have anything else, any other opportunities, but it's really, crafted a clear message for them saying, okay, I really now feel that I want to come to your team and contribute with all this experience and all this knowledge that I have.
And I like because in the whole process, you were making choices about it, right? You're choosing the 3 companies you want to work with. You were intentionally keeping the relationship with key people in those companies for 3 years, which is kind of a long time, and from, I don't know, 3 months, 6 months, whatever, sending a message or going to events where you knew those people would be. So it was intentional, and you put your time, within the time to keep it warm, to make sense. So,
And when you say no to one of the companies, then it's also about keeping relationship. So because at the end of the day, I had to say to 2 other companies that I'm not going to take.
Okay, so you had too many job offers and you had to say no to some of them. How amazing is that? This is the kind of problem I want to create to my clients. They have to say no to some offers because there are so many and they are all good. So they can be picky and choose the best ones. Yeah.
They can be picky.
Yeah, amazing.
And keep in touch with the ones that you say no, because what goes around comes around. And as I said,
for the future. Yeah. Exactly.
For the future, you always keep the doors open. You always professional. You're always a helping hand. You always, if in some cases I recommended my colleagues who could, step into that
You
role.
say no to that offer, but you say, I know someone who can be a great fit for the company. And then you recommend someone to your networking. So networking benefits everybody at the end of the day, right? The company, you, your friends, your colleagues. Yeah.
And just the right time.
Yeah, it was not the right time.
For some companies,
keep the doors open. That's
and I think exactly. And when I like to be 100% where I am, so I don't really want to go into something where I'm like 60%, and then it feels like cheating on both sides.
Yeah.
So if I would take it because just to be nice and to keep the kind of promise and so on. Yeah, don't put too much expectations on yourself. Yeah. Be honest and say what you want, and in a nice, professional way.
It's your career. Like some offers will come, and you are totally allowed and entitled to say no. It's your career. You make choices.
Yes.
So
exactly.
Not just because I received the job offer, I have to say yes. No, you don't have to say yes.
Yes,
searching
exactly.
or check the other options and all of that. Yeah, we could be here forever. I'm really enjoying that. There's a lot of value there. But to finish, one final tip, like very short, very specific, for people that are looking for a job or a career change, like you were when you moved to Vienna, and they are still struggling a little bit with network. So which would be your final tip to help job seekers to land a new job?
I think it's the first thing first is always, Juliana, to know where you want to go. So this is so much so important.
Yeah.
And so please do that homework. And if you cannot do it yourself, there are people like you, Juliana, that can help them to realize, okay, what exactly do I want to do? Where do I want to go? How does this dream job look like? Try to paint it, visualize it as detailed as possible. And once you know that, then approach people in your network. Because the worst thing that you can do is to spread your energy through your network, saying, I'm looking for a job, but I don't know what I'm looking for. Exactly. Network usually wants to help. People want to help people. And I've seen that through all of my career. Because it's just like that. You're always thinking, okay, about yourself as well. And I'm also looking for ways how I can help my network too. Because if I'm, recommending great people from my network for a different company, I'm bringing value to people in my network. So think about it in that way. But the most important part is realize where you want to go and then start talking to your network, depending how do you feel. So there are people who are very vocal and they ask on LinkedIn, for instance, they write that they're looking for a job because they feel comfortable with that. So they are on that, so comfortable with it. The other people, they like to talk through LinkedIn messages, for for instance, this is fine. Find your own way. You know,
There are
don't push
different
yourself.
ways. There is not one
Different
formula
ways.
fits all.
Exactly. But, you know, do your homework, prepare. And when you address these either recruiters or, you know, people from your network, write something meaningful to them. So please don't prepare like 50 same messages and then just copy paste to speed up
Like
the process.
A robot. Like,
yes, because you're not speeding up process. We know, especially people. So I can really sense it if someone sat for a minute and thought about it, what I'm doing and how I can support it or not. So I really cannot emphasize that enough. And of course, along the way, you know, during your job search, it's always good to look for professionals like yourself or people that you have in your network. Just keep asking questions because no one has all the answers. I didn't know how negotiates the salary. So I have a friend who does that professionally.
Yeah.
And we sat together and we realized, okay, so this is how the contract looks. This is what I can ask for, and so on. So please keep asking. You know, keep asking in a good way, and think about, you know, take care. I like to say, take care of your network, and network will take care of you as well.
Oh, that's a brilliant way to close to close that. I love it. Thank you very much, Adela. I'm going to share your contact details, your LinkedIn profile, and all of that. And for you who is watching this video, follow her. This woman is powerful. So thank you very much for all the information. It was really helpful. And if you like the video, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Every week, new videos, and we talk everything about career. So thank you very much, Adela. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, Juliana. Thank you all. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye.